Yo, 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 what is up? What's going on? How's everybody doing today? Oh, man, we got a late evening or afternoon stream, I should say, going on, man. Had stuff I have to take care of, but we here. Kind of pressed for time today, but we're going to get this one in and enjoy this show for the time that we do have today. Thank y'all for tuning in. I got the banner up all wrong and stuff, but we're going to get all this fixed. Yesterday is what? Wednesday, hump day. If you're having a good or a bad day, let Mr. Chow break it down to you.
Oh, you're having a bad day? Did you die?
I got shot.
But did you die?
As long as that didn't happen, you are here to see another day, blessed to get through all the stress and the mess that you may be feeling and may be going through. That's right. But other than that, man, it's Wednesday, hump day. Hopefully you can make it over all the stress and stuff that you're going through, but I'm here to get you through maybe the end of your work day. I only have about an hour and a half to 2 hours to run this show today, so we're going to kind of go through what we can go through and try to power through the whole thing, because I do have I actually have a good message to deliver. It'll be a little fun today to really get things done. But to get to today's show, we are multi-streaming on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. So if you're on any one of those platforms, feel free to hit the like button or give a follow. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor right there. You're going to see that like button come up when it does. Hit that like button and get the algorithm out, because it is greatly appreciated if you do. Yes, thank you if you do. And if you don't, hey. But I still love you, though. It's all good. And if you want to contribute to today's show, there's the Cash App or the Venmo. Cash App Daniel2888. Venmo Danny-Daniel-00. And yes, that's going to be it for the introduction of the show, because I am your host, The Elliott Fitness, and we are going to get our 3 topics for today. We got fitness, the economy, and AI. So for the fitness portion of the show, what we're going to run through is we're just going to enjoy the view of fitness women today. That's what we're going to do. We're going to enjoy the view. That's what we're going to do. Oh yeah, that's what we're doing today. Today, we are going to enjoy the view of fitness women. We're just going to go through some different pages I find, and we're just going to see different workouts that these women are doing in the gym. From, seated rows to squats to lunges to if they do bench press, which I doubt they do, RDLs, all these things. We're just going to enjoy the beauty that these fitness women out here is displaying. And you can't get mad at me or saying that I'm objectifying anything, because I'm literally just showing what you showing. And if you don't like it, straight up. And that's how I feel about it. But it's gonna be some nice views. I'll tell you that right now. It's gonna be some real nice views. I mean, we're gonna focus on the fitness part of it though. But we're gonna get nice views in the process. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, you're finna find out in a minute. Second part of the show, we're gonna slide into the economy. The economy, I'm going to attack it from a different angle. I wasn't sure how to set this one up, because then the next portion would be AI, and I wasn't sure if what I had would be AI or the economy, but whatever. So the economy portion of the show on this one, I'm going to go over Gen Z and Gen Alpha. So we're going to see, how Gen Z is and how, basically just, how they live, what's going on with them, how they live, how life is going, just the things that they go through, and kind of some of the things that go on with Gen Z. We're going to see what goes on with Gen Z, how they live, how their life is, how things go with them, just to kind of see what Gen Z is all about and what other people say. Then we're going to take that same thing and bring it over and see what's up with Gen Alpha. Now, if you don't know, Gen Alpha is like what? I think the oldest Gen Alpha is like 11 or 12 years old. So, Gen Alpha is kind of looking up to Gen Z, because Gen Z, the oldest Gen Z is like 28. So the oldest Gen Alpha is like probably like 12 or 11 or whatever. So we're going to have an idea of how Gen Alpha is perceived, because a lot of people don't pay attention to that, especially if you don't have kids. So a lot of people don't notice that. So we're going to see what people are saying about Gen Alpha, teachers and random and other parents and stuff like that, and get an idea of what's going on with these young whippersnappers coming up, because I am personally myself have a Gen Alpha, and let me tell you, these kids are pretty savvy, and mine has my DNA in him, so he's a really, really smart cookie on top of that. So we're going to check that out as well. That's going to be a good one to see. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Then we're going to, turn my phone off. Then we're going to go over to the AI portion of the show. I wasn't sure to put this in AI, but I did, because it's going to take AI to put this together as far as what this is. Social credit score. We're going to look at the social credit score and see exactly how that's going to be working. Because with the social credit score, that's who was going to be mainly, you know, that's who's going to be basically brought into it. You got Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They're going to be brought into the world of social credit score, which is really going to suck. I mean, just to put it up in a nutshell. So we're going to see how their attitudes and stuff work. Sorry, I'm over here multitasking. So we're going to see the attitudes of Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and then we're going to turn around and look at social credit score and how that's going to work and how that's going to be implemented in the future, and see what's going on, as to see the world that they're going to be basically living and being brought into, and see if, you know, if we are doomed or if we're in trouble, you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, when you hear about a social credit score, the first thing I think of is this.
Prepare the meat, so dumb.
So it's not going to be good. It's my humble opinion. I don't think it's going to be a very, very good thing to do, not to anybody, but we're going to take a look at it. And like I said, kind of on a time crunch today, but we're going to squeeze all this in. We're going to make this happen. It's going to be something fun to basically, you know, get into. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get the show started. So are you guys ready? Because like I said, the fitness portion of the show, we finna enjoy some views. We're going to enjoy some views. And I'm just going to make this one simple. I'm not even going to I really just gonna make this one simple. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a lot of music that's gonna get copyrighted, but I'm gonna have to turn the music down or whatever. We're gonna enjoy the workouts that these fitness women are doing. We're gonna enjoy this. We're gonna have a really good time. Not gonna do it for too long, because it'll get repetitive and redundant, but we're gonna enjoy it for just a small pigeon little bit of life, okay? I mean, we're gonna look at some things, and you're gonna look at your screen. Hopefully you're not around your wife or your girlfriend, because she's gonna get jealous. But you're gonna look at that screen and you're gonna be saying to yourself, God damn. You're gonna be saying like, "Holy Lord Jesus," you know what I mean? So if you with your significant other, you know, this might be the time. You know, like let her know, you know what I mean? Like tell her like, hey, this fool on the camera is being, you know, he's a fitness guy, so he's appreciating fitness women, you know what I mean? She'll understand. But if she don't understand, if your significant other doesn't understand, you can always just tell her, shut up. You know, just be careful. I didn't tell you to do that though. Okay, we're good. All right, so we're going to dive right into today's show. So let's go ahead and get this started. So let's start off with our fitness intro. Oh, that's the outro. Let's do the fitness intro.
Let's get ready for the fitness segment of the show.
Yes, sir. Here we go. There we go. I'm back. All right. I got it. All right. So we're going to start out here first. We're going to do this one right here first. Let me make sure I got this right, because I don't want to mess this up, because I messed this up last time. Bigly. I mean, bigly. Let me make sure I got the music muted. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. So we got our first workout up. Probably got music to it.
Let him tell me more than once that he didn't.
No, I don't think it has music to it. So we're going to check out our first workout of the day. And here we go. Bam, sliding right into it. Look at that there. All right, so this workout here, I don't know what we call this one. Let's see. Oh, there's kids watching. You see the kid walk by?
To admit it, I begged for him to stay.
Is there music?
Let him tell me more than once that he didn't want.
I don't know. It probably is. So she says how I got my pistol squats. All right, so do we see this? Are we seeing how she got her pistol squats? That looks okay. Hold on. All right, so first we go down, then we, okay. All right, and go back up. Okay, then we go down, pause to make sure we got good form right here. So our legs have to go all the way extended over our head. So we got to make sure we pause in this position and then roll forward and come up in a pistol squat. Okay, all right. So ladies are teaching us how to do pistol squats. This is fantastic. I'm going to try these at some point in life, but you know, I don't know if it's going to be soon, but I think I'm going to give it a shot. And yeah, so right here we have pistol squats. For those of you who know how to do a pistol squat, this is it right here, okay? All right, let's see what we got next. Bam. All right, so let's see. Do we have music?
In money?
Of course we do. But she's riding the bike. She says, sweat is dripping harder than their lies. Oh, wow. Keep talking. You're busy leveling up. Okay. So is she trying to teach you how to ride a bike? This one is not going to be good approved. I'm going to have to hit her with the good old, you know. Yeah, she ain't talking about now. We're not learning anything from her, so she's away. So she's trash. If I had my boo, I need my boo crowd. Where's my boo crowd? I don't have my boo crowd anymore, but we're going to move on to the next one. What we got here? Oh, she's talking. This might not be good. Is she talking? No, she's just showing us. Okay, well, that's no fun. Anything? Nothing? Oh, okay, there we go. Treadmill walk. Okay, so we got treadmill walk. Jesus. All right. This might be a little bit too much for me. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is. All right, so we got some RDLs going on. All right. Oh, got to get the back view of the RDLs to show the hamstrings because we are all looking at the hamstrings because the hamstrings are most important RDLs, and we are focused on the hamstrings in this workout. Okay. All right. Then we're doing the I don't know what you call this. I would just call it a squat with the barbell over your shoulder, whatever you want to call it. All right, then she's doing the kettlebell swings. All right, dancing for whatever reason. All right, all right. All right, so hopefully we'll learn. Oh, once again, doing RDLs, but we are focused on the hamstrings here. That's what we see. We see hamstrings and nothing else. That's right. All right, we're going to slide on next one. A little bit too thick to my liking, but I would still have fun with it. Okay, now we're stretching. We got music? Of course we got music. All right, so we're stretching. So do we know how to stretch? Do we know? Oh my Lord. Hold on now. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so we're stretching. Does anybody know how to stretch?
God damn.
Yeah, all right. So stretch. Make sure the forehead touches the shin. Then you go ahead and pull one of the, oh Lord, we pull one of those right there. All right. All right, so we're focused on stretching of the legs, getting it all worked out all the way right there. So we have to focus on the stretching of the hamstrings in this one, and this can be a good split. So if you're working on your splits, focus on full mind muscle or stretch connection on this one, all right? And we're sliding on to this one. Okay, all right, so this one's outside by the pool in her bikini. This is fair. So what do we got here? I'm sensing some calisthenic actions about to go down. You know, admiring. Okay, pull-ups action it is. All right, there we go. Nice, smooth, slow, or maybe the video's in slow motion. I'm not sure. All right, let me see. Is the video in slow motion? Oh, yeah, I think it is. Okay, so she's showing us that she can do pull-ups. All right, good for her. Good for. Oh, she's holding the pull-ups. All righty, that's what I'm talking about. Hold that pull-up. All right, now she's going slowly back down. Did she finish? Are we starting back over? No, she's still going, y'all. We're still on the clock. We're 40 seconds in, and she's still going. So she's got great strength. She's got good strength. You don't give her a round of applause for this one. This is fantastic. Yeah, shout out to her. All right, so we got that one going on. All right, let's move on to the next one. We got here next. Okay, I think this is the same stretch girl. Is this the same stretch girl? I think it is. The one we just seen stretching with the forehead. Yeah, that's her. That's her. All right, you can't double up, you cheater. Get out of here. All right. Oh, okay. What do we have here? Okay, I don't know if I would be feeling too comfortable doing this one. I don't know what we're working on this one. You thought abs were boring until you tried this. So this is for the abs. All right, I guess she doesn't want to lay on the ground and do sit-ups or crunches or anything of that nature. So she puts her rump between a metal bar, and hopefully she sprays and wipes that down before she leaves, because some of you guys out there may try to inhale the remnants from the bar. You know, some of you guys are like, you know, some of y'all got some issues, I might say. Y'all might do that in public. All right, so we're gonna go in here because we're not learning anything here because she's not helping us. All right, she's lucky to look like that is what this says. Okay, so we have the what is this called? I forgot what that's called. All right. Okay, so we have that one right there. So, okay, the squat. All right. Okay, and then we have the leg press. All right, she's got, what, 5 plates on that bad boy. Shout out to her. We're doing the RDLs. Okay, okay. If you notice that women leg day is slightly different than dudes, I do those. I don't do these, so this is not one that I do, but maybe I should add in it. We do squats. How much weight we got there? What we got? 20, so 44. So she's squatting a nice 225, I would give her. Yeah, okay, she's squatting at 225. Okay. All right. Shout out to her. All right. Give her some praise for that. All right, okay. What do we have here? What are we learning? So far, nothing. Still not learning anything. I mean, you know. Okay, box jumps. Alrighty. Okay, all right. And I wonder how many of these ladies may be on the juice. Some of these ladies might be out here on the juice. Okay. Power cleans. Power cleans is what we got going on here. Doing the power clean. How much weight we got on the power clean? That is a 15-pound weight on each side. So what is that? 30 and 30? Well, no, not 30 and 30. 45 plus 30 is going to be what? 75 for a power clean? Okay. Alrighty, if the bar is 45. Alrighty, so we're doing 4 lunges with the bar. Okay, alright, good job, good job. 4 lunges with the bar. Alrighty, we're still going. And starting jump rope action. Okay, we're jump roping. Alrighty, there we go. Good job, good job. Shout out to you. Round of applause for this one. All right. Assisted pull-ups. Okay, moving on to the next one. We have here day 27 of the core workout. She got abs, yo. She got abs. Oh, she got good form. She outside in the driveway at the casa. All right. Oh, man. Hey, those ain't no joke. If you know, and no, man, those ain't no joke either. If you know about them Russian twists, those are a breather. Those, you be happy when somebody tell you to do those. Those are good. All right. So she got some good abs. All right, she's got the good physique. Shout out to her. Shout out to this chocolate sister with the dreads too. Shout out to her with the dreads. I'm gonna give you a round of applause because you got some dreads and abs. Dreads and abs. There we go. Where's your round of applause? There it is. There we go. All right. Enjoying the view. Remember, we're enjoying the view, but also, okay, you're not in the gym, so we're passing that one up. All right, you're outside the gym, so we're passing that up. Okay, so here we go. We're walking. The only thing I'm chasing are these gains. Okay, alrighty, all right. So we have recoil on the sprint. Nah, not so much. All right. So, go jogging. I'm an outside jogger myself. Not much of a treadmill guy. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like the way it feels to jog on the treadmill. And then, whoa, what we got going on? You're not working out. Are you working out in the gym? You are in the gym. What do we have going on here? I know the brothers are going crazy if they seeing it. She is in the gym. Okay, it's a back day. All right, so your leggings look like jeans. All right, okay, so we're doing a back day. She's a little bit aki, I must say. You know what I mean? Fun time. I get it. All righty, we got the back day workout we got going on here. All righty, brothers is going ham if they seeing this. They like, ooh. Calm down, fellas. Calm down. All right, so what we got going on? Oh, she's going to do a deadlift. Women are known for this. Yep. Is that a deadlift or RDL? All right, band-assisted pull-ups. Okay. And she's back at square one. So fitness ladies are in. Okay. What do we have here? Okay, we have the glute machine, as we can see. Oh, man. I think those are see-through, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I see that quite a bit when I go to the gym. I mean, it is what it is at this point. Oh, man, we get the whole back shot for the good. Those are standing good mornings is what I would call those. I do seated good mornings, but she's doing standing good mornings. All right, we're doing the calf raises on the LD, on the leg press, and we're back to good mornings. Now we're doing, okay, I wouldn't count that. No, I wouldn't count that at all. No, I'm not counting those. You know what? No. Those sit-ups don't count either. No, I need my boos. Where are my boos? I need my boo sound. All right. Enough of this one. All right, you're telling me she lifts. What do we got? Do you have images of you lifting? No, we don't. You're just showing off. Boo to you. All right, we don't want to see you. All right, Jesus, you're sweating profusely. Get off the camera. That's the stretch girl again, because there's the same thing. Okay, we got pull-ups. Is she gonna do a pull-up? Let's see what we got. Are we gonna do a pull-up? No, we've been gypped. All right, and moving on next to, oh man, look at this right here. All right, round of applause to this lady. Yes, sir. Oh, and she's doing the bench press too with the crazy abs. All right, yeah. Okay. I just feel like this back arch is painful. I try not to do the whole back arch thing. That thing looks painful when you do that. All right. Nice little, slim, petite. Nice petite frame on this one. All right, nothing big and atrocious as we've seen previously. That looked a little that looked overboard. We're doing 35s with the dumbbell incline press. All right, this is good for your chest. If you're trying to build your chest muscles, this right here will do it to you. Oh, I do these lat raises right here are the truth. But she doing like 5 pounds, but she needs to. She got a nice frame. I like her body frame. I do. I like this one. This one's nice. Her body is on point. Might be a little bit too much abs, but hey, she doing it, so I ain't knocking her. All right, what do we have here? This looks like some CrossFitter. These are those CrossFitters, I bet you, isn't it? Are you the CrossFitter? Yeah, you're a CrossFitter. I can tell. All right, moving on. All right, we got super cakes again. We got super caked up over here. right, so we have a back day. She's on her back day. Got the T-bar going, doing a shoulder press on the machine. All righty, she's for sure. Okay, lat raises. All righty, cross, double cable cross. I thought she was going for a back day, but she's mixing everything up. I think she's just, all right, she's trying to get fit. She nothing like this chick here, but you know, so far this has been the best in shape one, I would say. As far as shape goes, this has been like the best in shape one. All the other ones have been, you know, you know. Let's see what we got. Run to define. Okay, we don't need you to sell us anything. You're not showing us anything. What do you do? You're just showing off. Okay. Oh Jesus. Okay, ladies, what are y'all doing out here? Are you gonna do any workouts? Okay, we have this extremely thick person here. What is this thickie gonna do? Squat. Oh, this is the good morning lady, the one that had on the jeans earlier. That's who that is. This is her. Okay. I see. We see that that's the main workout you go to. I can feel you. Okay, you're not working out. All right, this will be the last one. This will be the last one for the fitness segment. Okay, we got this one here. She's doing a front leg or single leg RDL. Those are good to go. I would do those with dumbbells preferably. But okay, alrighty. We can learn a thing or two. Alrighty, I see you there. Good job. Okay. That's a single leg step up. Okay, all right. That's looking on point. Okay. Alrighty. Oh man, that's a hell of a back tattoo. Jesus. All right. Okay. Jesus. All right. Good form on the squat. Shout out to her for that. Good form on, and was that 185? Okay, I see ya. Get that 185. Get it. All right, I was doing 185 today. I was not feeling it. She's got 60 dumbbells on the RDLs. I graduated to hundreds finally. She's got the 60s of them. Good view. All right, we got those going on there. Enjoying the ladies today. And do we have anything else? Oh boy. All right. I think she's gonna try to tease us. You can already see this one coming a mile away. Yep. This is a preview for the spicy content, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she got some good hair though. She got good hair. And all right, I guess we can finish it on this one. Are you gonna work out? Nah, you're just trying to tease people. Okay, we got a pistol squat. All right, pistol squat on that one. I see what you did there. She thinks she's slick. We saw what you did. But good form on the pistol squat though. Push up on that knee, because them knees is, you know, them knees over time ain't gonna be working like they used to. So you got to push on them knees. All right. Oh my God. Oh, okay, we gonna end it on this one. I think we starting to get in uncharted territory. I don't have to say anything here, yeah. I don't have to say anything on this one. I'm not saying anything. I think everybody knows what this is all about. Yeah, we for sure stopping on this one, because I think I'm about to get in uncharted territory, bro. Yeah, if you know, you know. Yeah, buddy. All right, this is gonna be the last one for the fitness segment. Shout out to her. Okay, whew, that was close. I thought it was gonna get how does it go? Doom 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 doom. You know what I mean? I thought we were gonna have some problems there for a second. I didn't want to hit the next down button because I figured, like, you know, I thought it was gonna get, you know, I thought it was, yeah. I had to end it on that one. I just, you know, you saw where that was headed. You saw where that was headed. Yeah. I'm still watching it though. I'm still watching to see if anything changes. So far we're good, y'all. Ain't nothing changed. Okay. We're gonna pause on that one. Alrighty. So that's gonna be it for the fitness segment of the show today. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the economy portion of the show. We're gonna hop in and talk about these Gen Zers and Gen Alphas. We got to see exactly what's going on with these Gen Zers and Gen Alphas. We're going to get a better, deeper understanding, because those are the people, the young human beings, the young adults, the older adults, or whatever you want to, not older, younger adults or whatever. They're the ones in the workforce. They're the ones that's going through, those are the ones that was born into a life of social media. Then these next ones are going to be the ones born into a life of AI and Chat GPT. So it's just like one had social media when they were born, the other one had Chat GPT when they were born. So then the next one after that, Gen Beta, is going to probably be, you know, they're going to be brought in a world where robots was already on the street. So it's crazy. So we're going to go ahead and check this out. We're going to change the banner here real quick. All right, and we're going to go ahead and dive into the economy of the show. So where's my future robot that I'm going to replicate in the future? Where is she at? I can't find her. There she is.
Welcome to the economy segment of the show. Enjoy.
All right. So yes, if you don't know by now, that's going to be my future robot, kind of like subservient. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's going to be one of my future robots. She's going to be one of my robots I'm going to make and going to have her as my robot. And, it's going to be a subservient thing going on. But, mind your business. Don't worry about all that. But here we're going to see here about the truth about what's going on with Gen Z. We have to see how this generation is living, how things are going on with them, because they were the ones that was on lockdown during the strong flu 19. They did have that situation happen to them. So we're going to have to see exactly how they're living and how they're, how they're perceived by other people and how they're perceived by their peers. And then we're going to go on over to see how Gen Alpha is perceived and see how, the adults, how Gen Z adults and millennial adults see, or maybe even Gen X adults, but I'm going to say Gen Z adults and millennials adults, how they see Gen Alpha and what they're going through, because we're going to come across some teachers as well who are dealing with these kids, and we're going to see if there's any things that we should be aware of and pay attention to. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do and hop in right now. So we're going to have to go ahead and take a look at that right quick. So with that being said, where are you at? Oh, hey, got a like on the video. Appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, my thing messed up again. We got to fix all these things. Okay. So we're going to start off right here on this first video that we have right here. It's going to show you, let me change the banner before we go further. It says that the truth about Gen Z. So we're going to see the truth about Gen Z and what is said about it. This video is about a year old. So let's see what they got to say and figure out if this is true or false. Here we go.
Is the first generation in America that has absolutely no purpose or meaning in life. This is why they have terms like doomers. This is why you ask them, hey, go buy a house, get married, have kids. And they say, what's the point? Inflation is going to make it impossible to retire. My house won't be worth anything. I can never afford a house. My education was super overpriced. Every institution's corrupt. Everybody's lying to me. Everything's pre-decided. The globalists are controlling everything. I'm just going to be told how to live. Why should I strive and have any ambition when I've been basically reduced to a category and I've already determined that my category is pre-designed not to be successful? So there's a learned hopelessness inside Gen Z. And all these old baby boomers, millennials, and Gen Zers, they're like, well, they just don't want to work hard. I mean, well, ask yourself this. If you honestly believe that no matter what you did, you were going to lose the game, would you want to play the game? Like, how much fun would it be to be part of a football game if you were basically told before you even took the field that you were going to lose the game? What's the point? You see this even in professional football. After, a team knows they're going to lose, how hard do they play in the fourth quarter? They put their second string in. They put their third string in. They just try to find another game to play because the primary game is lost. So if you know you're going to lose the economic game, you know that the system is rigged, why do you care? So good philosophies, they give you meaning and hope.
Okay, that's an interesting way of looking at that situation. So you're saying that Gen Z has no purpose in life. So that is a hard pill to swallow if you're living in a life with no purpose. So thinking about our entire generation that doesn't see meaning or purpose in life is a scary thing to go through, especially with the job market, the economy going down, and the financial game. Everything is financial in this world. You have a generation that thinks like that. I mean, this is and the person who's talking, he sounds like he could be a millennial or a Gen Xer. That's what he sounds like. But him speaking for them, he may be true, he may be wrong, we really don't know. But what they're saying over here is they're saying that, they don't see the point in winning anything because getting a house is completely like way out of the price range, which is, pretty much true. Getting a house is completely out of price range because you're not able to get one, even if you and your spouse were to put your combined monies together for down payment. I mean, there's a potential chance you could, but even now it's still like ridiculously hard, and everything's going up and the prices are going up through the roof, and having a job requires experience, and it's hard to get experience because you go out of college and you come out of college with no experience, but you were taught previously in the past or previous generations like mine as well I'm a millennial. We were taught to get education, and then, go get a job or whatever. But now we're seeing that they come out with bachelors and masters, and it's not always working. You know what I mean? And in this world, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So I'm going to go back to him real quick and let him go through that video again and kind of go over some of the things he talks about.
Gen Z is the first generation in America that has absolutely no purpose or meaning in life. This is why they have terms like doomers. This is why you ask them, hey, go buy a house, get married, have kids. And they say, what's the point?
Yeah, now go buy a house, get married, have kids. All of those things require money. Every single last one. And the Gen Z girls, I mean, they were born into a society of social media, so they were seeing Instagram and TikTok. And I don't know if you know anything about social media with Instagram and TikTok, but it's pretty how do I say this in a nice way I could say it? It's pretty slutty out there in those streets. It's pretty smutty out there in those streets. We'll say that word. It's pretty smutty out there in them TikTok streets. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen all sorts of craziness go on, and it just seems like it's not going to stop, and it seems like it's the easiest way to get ahead and get on top, no pun intended. So to tell them to get married, I mean, we just saw Lil Tay. And if you know who Lil Tay is, let me pull this individual up so you can see who I'm talking about. As a matter of fact, let me pull up this person. This person would be considered a Gen Zer. So this Gen Zer right here just started a OnlyFans, and as soon as she turned 18, within 3 hours, she came up on some millions. So let me show you her right here. Right here, Lil Tay claims she made $1 million hours after launching OnlyFans account on her 18th birthday, published on August 4th of 2025. Today is August 13th. So if this is what, these young men are dealing with, or just the society in general are dealing with, and you're seeing that this is how their life is basically, how their life is turning out, because this is what they're up against. You know what I mean? The women see a quick ticket, they can get out. Not all of them, but women can see women getting this money, and the boys are seeing the women get money like that. And, just the whole society and system as a whole, they've already made it clear that we're moving into a she economy. So with the economy going on, it's just like a huge imbalance. The house market's super expensive, and if you ain't doing something, it's almost like if you ain't doing something wrong, you're not going to get ahead, is almost how this world is being played. But in this situation, they're saying that Gen Z doesn't have any meaning or purpose. Well, we're going to take a look at somebody else who has something to say. Shh. We're going to take a look at somebody else who has something to say. This girl, she's going to speak on if Gen Z has found a solution to the struggle or any problems that they're having. So we're going to take a look at this video and see if she sees that Gen Z has found a solution to the struggle that's going on. And we're going to see if what she says is accurate or false. So let's let her take it away. I forget her name. I don't know her name, but we'll see if she has it right or wrong.
That Gen Z struggles with a lot of things, but there is something new that they are struggling with, but it actually isn't new. It's new to them. Gen Z is upset with the concept that they might have to work a 9-to-5 job for the rest of their life. This is the type of content that I see on TikTok all the time. They literally think that it is the absolute worst thing in the world.
Surely you can't be serious.
Which enters, of course, the age-old dilemma of I can't believe I have to work for the rest of my life. I don't want this 9-to-5. And right now, we're hitting that point with Gen Z. Gen Zers in their first internship can't fathom working for the rest of their life. I'm just supposed to do this forever because I need money? Yes. I don't know what else to tell you. The article was referring to this tweet, which has gone viral. It was originally in subreddit Late Stage Capitalism. The post has now been deleted, but of course it's the internet, so the post is lasting forever. This person said, any other Gen Z workers finding it impossible to fathom the rest of our lives like this? Somebody responded to this and continued the misery and said, what's crazy is we're just supposed to accept this. Like, people were farmers, blacksmiths, tailors, their own business owners up until the Industrial Revolution, where the job became replacement for poverty. But instead of helping break the chains of misery and being poor, jobs have been and are still a staple of give life to me so I can be super rich while you're pressing for more hours away from your life, your family, and your passions. All the while, corporate shills who think that hard work all your life is the way make everyone who feels otherwise feel less than themselves. It's a loop of I'm miserable, so let's make you miserable while somebody's rich off of our miseries. And I guarantee somebody with less than 2 brain cells is going to completely miss my point and unironically go, just work harder, bro. It's funny.
You know what? Whoever wrote that, hey. if that was a Gen Zer that wrote that, they are clearly onto something. I mean, you couldn't have said it better. That was literally nailed it right on the head. So shout out to whoever made that comment. That's pretty accurate. I mean, but it doesn't change the fact that, yeah, you do have to work. And yes, back then people were tailors and blacksmiths and things of that nature. And then, but there's always been struggle. There's always been struggle. There's always been some situations that happened in the past that were bad. There were different plagues, and there was always poverty and things like that. So even if you had your business, doesn't mean you were a booming business. And even though the Industrial Revolution came along and implemented more jobs for corporations, people still made out like a bandit in the beginning, but as time changed on, then yes, the job situation got worse and worse and worse and worse over time to where we're at the point where we are now, where there's somebody in the comment section right here. It says that, I don't know if you can see it right here. Says, I'm fine with 9 to 5, but I wish it was paying me enough to live off of, which that right there in itself is true. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Yes. You would go to work if you knew the work that you were doing would help you qualify or be enough money to put a down payment to get you a house. Because if the job that you have is enough money to put a down payment on a home, that means you have enough money to be able to support yourself and, pay for the mortgage. It's pretty simple. It's not even rocket science at this point. So yeah, there's that. But with that being said, Gen Z is having a hard time understanding the concept of having a 9 to 5, which out of the gate, that was always a normal thing for me. You always start out here, you always get the 9 to 5 job, and then you either get it, move to the top and, understand it, or you get it and you realize this ain't for me. I got to find a way to make my own money or have my own business and then have an entrepreneurial spirit about you, but use the 9 to 5 to get you up to that level and springboard you on to better pastures as far as entrepreneurship. But it's hard to do that when the cost of living and all the stress and strain of just living itself is pressing on you. So it's almost like, why even have a job and work if my check doesn't cover what I need to even live or help me get out of the situation that I'm in, which is the dilemma that they have. But I'm gonna let this woman continue on real quick and let's see what else she has to say.
Funny to me that this person is talking about, blacksmiths and tailors, because I guarantee that people like this would turn their noses up at modern Americans working those blue collar jobs. But that's what you're talking about. And I would guess that the people working modern day blue collar jobs have a greater love and a greater enjoyment for what they're doing, working with their hands, than you sitting and typing on your laptop. But we have been conditioned to think that these jobs are the most important and that they are the only way that you can find fulfillment and offer anything productive to the world.
Sometimes I lose the remote, and sometimes my butt itches real bad.
And partially I get it, because humans were not designed to work behind screens all day long. So if you have a job like that, number one, it is your choice to have that kind of job, and it is still your responsibility to get outside and touch some grass if you are feeling confined by your laptop. Because if you really feel that way, you do have another option. And Gen Z seems to be leaning into that. Here's an article about that. Hustle culture isn't dead. It just got a Gen Z rebrand. People want time to live their lives. Gen Z.
Okay, yes, I do feel that. You want time to live your life. But like I was saying yesterday on the stream I did yesterday, right now we are at a, we have economic cycles, ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. So for example, with the economic cycle that we had when the Great Depression hit, okay? Because before the Great Depression, we had the Roaring 20s where everything was going fantastic. Just everything was on the up and up. Stock market was up and up. Everything was going good. Women were having a great time. Men were having a great time. Stock market was booming. You put your money in. Everybody's making money. Everything was good. Good. Up and up and up and up and up and up until it wasn't. Then when the Great Depression hit, everything just went to hell. Like everything was terrible. The unemployment rate was like in the 20s or 30s. Okay, let's find out real quick. What was the employment rate? Well, what was the unemployment rate? Unemployment rate during the Great Depression. Okay, that was going to be 25%. So it reached the peak of 25%. So what I believe, I'm not sure if I'm 100% right on this, but what I believe is like we're going through this again. So we're going through another period of a Great Depression, in my opinion, because we're 100 years past that. We're overdue for one at some point. The thing is this, that Great Depression that hit, it says that in 1933, an estimated 12 million people were unemployed. So closer to 13 million, to be quite honest, like 12,800,030. So during that time, that was like a 25%. Now, in this time, 100 years later, which almost is to date, we're seeing people lose jobs, mass layoffs, union jobs are going, all this stuff is happening. And this time around, the jobs are not getting replaced or filled, if that's the right word. They're getting replaced with AI. So the jobs are disappearing. They're not getting replaced. They're disappearing because of AI. So things are changing drastically. And with tariffs and things making money tight and making all the products and goods and services go up, business are trimming the fat. They're cutting off, all the extra expenses so they can basically, survive to get over this cycle that we're going through. So I believe that this cycle or this depression that we're in or going into is going to last quite a while, quite a long time. So with Gen Z saying that they just want to be able to have time to live their life, unfortunately, I don't think now is that time that they're going to be able to enjoy that because of the fact of the cycle that we're in. They're born into an economic downturn, but it's not just the economic downturn, it's a depression, in my opinion, and it's severe. So they're kind of like trying to find like, where's the point where I get to like enjoy what y'all enjoyed? We see the history on y'all working a factory job, or you guys had all these great things going on and things weren't so expensive, but for us, we're just we're in our prime years, our young years, and we're over here dealing with stress. That's just a sucky time to be alive. You know what I mean? It's just what that is.
Gen Z did not just discover being an entrepreneur. Gen Z did not discover having hobbies and having interests out of your 9-to-5 job. But it is positive and it is cool that Gen Z is finding a way for those hobbies to help pay them a little more. And honestly, if Gen Z can actually get it together and succeed in these endeavors, this should be seen as a win. Because the corporate ladder mentality is real and it is exhausting to many. And if that's not for you, that is totally fine. You do not have to fit yourself into that box. And for all the bad things that I say about the internet and about social media, there has never been a better time to have a side hustle like this and to build your passion projects through the internet. And that's a good thing. It is no surprise to anybody that Gen Z struggles with a lot of things, but there is something new that they are struggling with, but it actually...
Okay, so basically she was just trying to tell them like right now would be a good time. Right now would be a good time, would be an excellent time, to be quite honest with you. I heard somebody say that right now, if you can have a business right now, then it's time that we're in. During this economic downturn, if you can have a business and you can make this business work, you can flourish, you can discipline yourself and just make it work and make it happen and struggle through and get through and come out on the other end during this downturn, when things go up, you're going to just like catapult because you already went through the hardest part with your business. You've already went through the thickness of it. If you can go through this part of your business while everything is bad, when things get good, it's going to be so easy because you've already dealt with the hardship at the beginning. You already dealt with the hardest part, the hardship of, high groceries and the high housing costs and high this and high that and all this stuff that was super expensive. You're going to be able to weather that storm. And when everything starts getting better, you're going to like make out like a bandit because you already dealt with the hardest of the hard already. So we're going to take a look at this next video. And we have this girl here. She's saying that Gen Z is boring. So let's see what she has to say about Gen Z being boring. And let's see if it actually holds some weight. So let me get that back.
The problem with a lot of Gen Z is that y'all are just boring. Mean and boring. And it's really crazy because it also comes with this underlying desperate need to be cool, but y'all are so busy being judgmental that you don't have what it takes to actually be cool people, you're so busy thinking that everything is weird and cringe and oh my god, that you can only be cool by replicating something that has already been deemed acceptable, which results in just people looking and acting and sounding the exact same way. And what you guys don't realize is that the coolest thing you can be is kind, okay? When you're a genuinely kind person, that comes with confidence. That comes with the lack of fear to be able to be yourself, That is the people who will set the trends because they're not so busy going around being oh, this person doesn't fit in to how I think that they should fit in, And I think that that's what a lot of y'all are missing. A lot of your coolness is performative. it's soulless, you know, because you don't actually want to accept and empathize and love others. So how can you accept and love and empathize with yourself enough to do something really fucking cool? And it is pretty disappointing to see us go down this path, because when I was younger, I definitely thought that we were going to be the cool ones. Like, I definitely thought we were going to be the ones that were eccentric and loud and outspoken and, you know, live and let live and passionate, and we just have taken a totally wrong turn.
Now that part is true. Every generation, every younger generation that comes up, you are the generation that, you know, you're going to be loud and passionate and all this good stuff. Like, that's normal. Every generation, you know, you become the young 18, 20 something year olds, and you're the ones, you know, learning about the world. You start learning about like conspiracy theories, and, you know, you start learning about things they put in the sky and things that they do to the water, and you know, the politicians and the mayors, and, you know, voting, and how this war is bad and this one. You start learning about all these things, so you become passionate and outspoken. You do, you know, the younger generation does it. The older generation kind of falls back, and because the older generation's already done that. No, we've already been in our 20s, like yelling and screaming and fighting, because we started to learn about the world. And I was like, how can they do this to us? Why do we keep falling for this? Like you think this is right? We should all. We've all been there. You know what I mean? Like we have been there. So each generation goes through it, comes out the other side, and realizes that basically there's a way to deal with it. But once you understand how the system works, you comprehend how to handle it. You're like, okay, I'm fighting a really big beast, and there's a way to go about it, and you understand it as you get older. You know what I mean? That's really what it turns into as the older generations figure out. So the younger generations, they're out there protesting and having peaceful riots and getting arrested and all this stuff because they're young, which is just a cycle that each generation goes through. But she's not wrong. She's right. Like, you know, you want to be the outspoken one and all that good stuff. It happens. But as you get older, and if you stick to knowledge and understand, you'll know how to move a certain way as you get older. You'll start to understand. I would let her finish, but she's talking about a whole lot of nothing at that point. But shout out to her. Do appreciate her for that one. So I'm going to go ahead and give her a round of applause because she was making some sense. So shout out to her. But yeah, I mean, but she said Gen Z is rude and boring. I mean, dang, you can't be both. Pick one. Jesus, pick a struggle. You can't be rude and boring. Be boring or be rude, but don't be both. That's too much. That's too much at all. But here's this. What do we see right here? Somebody actually in the comments said, let's see. Where is it at? It says right here, I'll show it to you. Right here we have things. Everyone thought Gen Z would be cool and take the torch from millennials, but Gen Z just for some reason completely backtracked in the craziest, saddest way in the direction of extremely. With how society is shifting, we will have to make closer connections with others. Yes, and it isn't going to be from social media, higher up / bosses. It's going to be the people. I'm getting tired of how people are ACP at, I don't know what that is. The least cool thing is trying to be cool for real. Like all that effort to be perceived as effortless, and they're still not happy. They say weird kid and it's just a quiet person. Also, everyone around me at school is either always on their phone or they're acting like kids and aren't serious at all, and just generally they drive me insane. Okay, so we have mixed emotions in here in the comment section. It seems like people are hyper aware and are scared of being perceived as cringe and weird for doing stuff. That's a part of life. You got to get over it. You know what I mean? You can't even be yourself because it's deemed weird, yet people are trying to be like other people. Okay, so it seems like they have a whole lot of, they don't like to be judged, or, you know what I mean? They don't like to be called out for, or seem like the odd person out. So it's like forcing everybody to kind of conform to be a certain way, because that's one thing that they have that we didn't have, is that Gen Z, they have, and Gen Alpha, but Gen Z moving forward, they had social media. So back when I was growing up, you get into a fight at school, only people at your school knew about the fight. Now, if you get into a fight at school, or something humiliating happens to you at school, it happened at that school, and you could just be like, I'm never going back to that school again, and leave schools and go somewhere else, and nobody even knew what happened to you at your old school. Now, if something happens at this school, it don't matter where you go. It's on the internet, and everybody's going to see it. That's a hard pill to deal with, especially as a teenager. So seriously, that's tough. I could not imagine that. That's a lot of stress for teenagers to go through. And I don't think people look at Gen Z and give them enough credit for that. Because, yeah, back in my day, for sure, you get something embarrassing happen at school, you could just like skip schools, leave school, and it's not recorded. You don't see it over and over, but you probably get laughed at about it. Or you could just leave school. But here, nowadays, no, not at all. It's going to get recorded by everybody. It's going to get saved. It's going to be a meme. I mean, it's going to be everything, and you can never live it down, and it never goes away. So that's tough to deal with as teenagers. So I sympathize with them on that one. I do. But next we have a girl talking about a point of view of the Gen Z stare. Does Gen Z have a stare? Let's check this video out and see what she's talking about the Gen Z stare. Here we go.
I can get for you? No, not really, but I was looking at the app the other day and they said they had a special for $5 instead of $7. Unfortunately, our deals are only on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so yeah, we can't do that. Really? Because they showed me on the app that this week it was going to have a special deal for $5 instead of $7. No, unfortunately, starting next week, which is this week, is when the deal starts, and it's a Monday, ma'am. I'm gonna see if that's correct, because I checked last night and they said that they had that deal for this week. Like, I know I'm not looking at things incorrectly. Okay, sure, yeah. Take your time. Yeah, see, it says right here, starting next week, which is this week, is the deal. So yeah, if you keep scrolling down, it'll say on Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's when the deal starts. Just keep scrolling. Oh, that's weird. You guys should have just had the special for the whole week. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, I can see what she's talking about because my nephew kind of does this low key and I never really understood it. But now that she's doing it, I can see it in him when he does it now. So yeah, I guess they do have that stare. Yeah. One thing I did notice is that when Gen Z became of age, and I probably would say this was probably about, when did I start noticing this? Well, like 10 years ago is when I started noticing this, which is when about Gen Z start to become age and work jobs. One thing that was blatantly obvious was the level of customer service that you got working. The level of customer service that you got from workers. So for example, you know, making like a Jack in the Box run or going to McDonald's or something like that, you clearly notice the difference in the customer service of the teenager that was like a brand new worker. You noticed it. It was clear. You could see it. You like, the heck is going on? Like, it was just like a awkward conversation, or the rude, or they deal with cards a lot. They deal with cards so much. So like a lot of the times, if you were to pay cash with something, if they don't see the total on the screen, they can't like have the quick math in their brain to add it up real quick. You know what I mean? Like in older generations, like math was in our head, but you'd be like, oh yeah, you gave me this much. Or for example, let's say something costs $17.62, right? And instead of, and like I would pay with a 20, because I actually had something like this happen to me recently. I was paying for oil for my car, and the total was, I don't know what the total was. I'm just gonna throw a number out there. It was like, we'll say it was like $62.87 or something like that, right? Or 80, whatever. It was $62.87, and I gave him $100 bill with 87 cents. So the total was $62.87. I gave him $100 bill with 87 cents. He was like, "Oh no, you gave me too much. You just gave me 100. You gave me too much with 87 cents." I said, "No. The 87 cents is so you won't bring me back change." And he was like, "You don't want your change?" Like, no, not, I don't want my change. I want my change, but it's so that you don't come back and give me any change as far as like pennies, nickels, and dimes. And he was just like, you could see in his head, he just couldn't figure out. He was like, I was like, look, whenever me giving you the 87 cents cancels out the 87 cents that you have, so it zeroes it out. So when you give me change back, you'll only give me dollar bills back and not quarters, pennies, nickels, and dimes. for the life of him, he couldn't understand what I was trying to convey to him. It didn't make sense. So I just said, don't worry about it. Just give me the 87 cents back, and then, you know, go do what you do and bring me back the change with the change. And he couldn't get it, so I just let him do it his way so he wouldn't be confused. But that's one thing that I did notice for sure, was that the level of customer service and how Gen Z operates. Not saying it's not talking down on them, but just that it's a different. The customer service changed drastically when they hopped on the scene, and that lets you know about the schooling that they had to deal with. The school system that they came out of, that let us know exactly what we were dealing with. So if we're dealing with that with Gen Z, we can only imagine how things are looking with Gen Alpha. So let's move on to the next slide. So we have this girl here who clearly, with her blonde hair, you're going to notice in the video, she's going to mention something, and you're going to see how wrong she is when she starts talking, because there's no way a Gen Alpha could be a waiter at a restaurant or bar. But she's talking about Gen Z. Is who she's talking about. But she's going to say Alpha, but clearly the blonde roots are kicking in and she doesn't know what she's talking about. But just listen to what she says. Here we go.
Here's my server the other day, and this is how it went. Hi, sit wherever you want. Hey, how's it going?
You see she's doing that Gen Z stare that that last girl was talking about.
Are you ready to order? Yeah, can I get the chicken pad thai, please?
And can I get the tofu and vegetable soup? And that's all, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to say I think this just depends on what restaurant you go to.
Excuse me, can we get some silverware, please? Thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to her and say it just depends on what restaurant you go to, because you could have this right here, because even the people in the comment section said the oldest Gen Alphas are 14 years old. I'm afraid that was probably a Gen Z. Exactly. So she's clearly young, so she don't know what she's talking about.
Excuse me, can we get the check?
I'm so sorry. Can we get the check, please? Yeah, 1 second. It's $42.31.
Yeah, that has to be a Gen Z. I've never had that. I've never had service that bad before, but if I did, I'm not gonna lie, I would be pretty upset. But it is kind of awkward talking to Gen Z whenever they're doing their like waiters and customer service type stuff. It's just a different conversation. They don't. It's not the same, and they don't really have the same vibe that I hate to use the word vibe, but the same teachings or coachings of how previous generations had. More enthusiasm with the job, even though you don't want to be there. At least try to make it a good time. You know, have a conversation. You know, shoot the ish with the other person. Try to find a common interest between them. Make some laughs, and maybe that'll get you more money. Yeah. So Gen Z don't really have that. They're just like, oh, you know, they ain't really want to be there, and I don't blame them. But if you're there, you might as well have fun and try to make the best of it. But anyway, moving on to the next one. I think it's the last one for the Gen Z. Then we're going to switch over to Gen Alpha. We have this lady here who says Gen Z don't listen, but let's see what she is actually trying to say. So let's hear her out.
Our parents put an emphasis on is that our generation don't listen. We don't listen, and we a hard head make us off ass, right? The fact that that's even a saying tells me that people been hard-headed. People have been not listening, right? I think now with our generation is the problem that not only do we not just listen, we also question you. We're not just ignoring in silence and then going out in secret and doing things that, you know, maybe against what you were telling us to do. We're openly ignoring you and then going out and trying it for ourselves to get this experience. And I think it's because you guys did not teach us how to listen. You did not teach us how to hear, how to understand, and how to use our ears, how to use our brains to use our ears. You know what I mean? All y'all told us was that we need to listen. You told us that listening was being quiet. You told us that listening was shutting up and not having an opinion. You told us that listening was about authority versus the people underneath them. That's why we rejected that. That's why we don't listen. That's why it's hard for us to learn before, and some of us have to truly just experience shit because y'all are not good teachers. The way that y'all want us to just listen to y'all blindly, you have to build a level of respect. First of all, a lot of y'all don't have that. The way they all want us to just listen to you blindly, you also have to have lived an example or have some experience that tells us that you know what you're talking about. And a lot of y'all don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's the right message, wrong messenger. Y'all don't have the self-awareness to realize that just because you're old, that doesn't mean that you give the example of something that I should listen to. There's a lot of old people that's fucked up. You need to be an old person that's in a good position to where I can see, like, oh, okay, I should probably listen to you because you look like you know what you're talking about, or you've shown me you know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. Even if when it comes to bad situations, you ain't supposed to look like what you've been through necessarily, but you should be able to communicate adequately to a young person, hey, this is what this means. Don't do this because XYZ. Maybe you should learn about, you know, this, whatever, before you make these decisions.
I mean, but that's the thing. Okay, so what she's saying is, okay, I get what she's saying on that part, but then you backdoor and say that you don't listen. So which is it? Do you listen or do you not listen? You can't do both. I mean, well, I guess you can in a sense, but if you're not listening, then it doesn't matter if I present it to you adequately or not. You're not gonna listen. You're not gonna get it because I guess the teachings from her point of view, you're already screwed up from the beginning. That, you know, it's like we're at the point of no return, so it doesn't really matter. But I can hear some of the stuff she's saying because of the fact that some people you don't want to take advice from. Yes, there are some older people out here who are just as lost as a Gen Zer is. So therefore, that does hold weight. So I agree with her on that. That is true. Some people out here, you know, you are rude and disrespectful just because somebody's younger than you, or you're just, you know, you weren't successful in life yourself. So how are you going to teach somebody you're successful that's younger than you? Because these younger cats, these young generations, they look at you and see if you succeeded in what you did. And if you look like you succeeded, then it makes sense to listen to you. And that's just common sense with anybody and anything. So I give her 50-50 on that one. I give her a round of applause for that, for sure. All right, so we heard about what people are saying about Gen Z and how, you know, we heard it from out of Gen Z's mouth. They got the Gen Z stare and how they feel about what they're going through with the situation and everything around them. Now we're going to take it into these Gen Alpha kids. These Gen Alpha kids, for sure. Oh, somebody's trying to put something up on my, where is this at? Let me ban this thing real quick. Where is it at? Banned. Gone. Okay. So now we're going to look into Gen Alpha. We're going to see what's going on with Gen Alpha and see how those young kids are doing. I think Gen Alpha is 12 and under, so we're going to check them out and see how life is going with them, because we have a teacher here who's going to speak about it and see if your kids are learning or if they out there talking back and being a bunch of future penitentiary, you know, cellmates. So here we go. I'm going to check this out. Let's see. Gen Alpha kids. Here we go with Gen Alphas. Take it away.
Teachers are talking about the poor behavior of Gen Alpha students, and some of y'all are finally starting to believe us when it comes to how much we've missed the mark on raising these kids right. Because I have gray in my hair and I'm 36 years old, people tend to tune me out as soon as I open my mouth when I start talking about these issues we're seeing in the classroom with our kids these days. So before I go on, why don't we review some of the evidence from some of the other creators on this app who might be a little bit more of a relatable age.
This is my folder of crying teachers, and they are confused and frightened by the behavior of Gen Alpha. They're saying Gen Alpha is defiant, aggressive, disrespectful, and rude.
Okay, now I'm just gonna say Gen Z ain't gonna be the first ones that made a teacher cry. We've made a teacher cry back in our day before, so I'm not gonna give Gen Alpha. I'm not gonna give Gen Alpha the bad rep on making a teacher cry, because we've all done that before, so they get a pass on that. But let's keep going.
Having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life. They don't respect any authority.
Shut
you
up,
ask
bitch.
them, can you stand in your designated spot? They're telling you no and shut up. They're throwing things at each other. They're throwing things at other people, other classes.
I don't like how she threw the word trauma out there, like traumatic experience. These kids are so much trauma. I mean, there's always been bad kids growing up. It's like, come on now, like don't throw the word trauma out there. That's weak.
Meets. You say, can everybody sit in their spot? I don't want to. I'm not doing that. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my mom.
Like, I'm not even trying to be funny, but these kids are, I'ma just say this. I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade.
I'm a middle school teacher. I'm also 22 years old. And I will tell you, by far, we are doomed. Like, these kids do not care. Like, I have kids, all they want to do all day long is get high. Like,
I need to ask millennials, why are your kids so awful? And more importantly, why do you think it's so funny? Your kids cannot read. They cannot write. They are ill-mannered.
I've been trying to sound the alarm about Gen Alpha students and their poor behavior in their classrooms, as well as their literacy problems, since May of last year. But because of my age and how I look, every time I make a video about these topics, I'll get people that have never worked with kids or have never spent a day in the classroom as an educator give me lines like, well, you're just old and jaded. If you don't like it and you can't handle it, quit and find another job. Kids have always been like this. Nothing's new in 2023. And then we've got the droves of people that are trying to blame it on COVID and trying to blame it on the lockdown, us not having any sympathy or empathy for students with special needs, even though I never talk about those types of students. And I'm always talking about general population students and the fact that this is an overarching problem with every single kid, even the high achievers, even the ones that don't need IEPs, even the ones that are highly socialized and have a lot of resources coming from home. Teachers that have been in this for 1, 2, 3 years are seeing it and they are talking about it. Teachers that are veterans like me that have been in the classroom for over a decade or 2 or 3 or nearing retirement are also saying the same thing. Your children are missing the mark on discipline. They're missing the mark on education standards. They're missing the mark on literacy. They're missing the mark on socialization. We can blame it on COVID. We can blame it on iPads raising our kids. We can blame it on the fact that kids don't socialize with each other enough. We can blame it on the economy.
I'm gonna say that one for sure. Kids don't socialize with each other enough, and I've noticed that thing for sure. Sorry, it's on my eye. I've noticed that for sure. Whenever I take my son to the gym with me and some, we'll go to the gym. He has his Switch with him or whatever. We play on the Switch, and then you'll see like another kid on their laptop, another kid on their laptop, and then there's like 2 chairs by the entrance. So these kids are way over there, and you got another kid on one single chair playing on his laptop, another kid on the other chair playing on a laptop. Sometimes a kid will go into like, you know, if the kid's there with their parents, they'll go into the room with their parents where they're working and be on their laptop. And I'm like, I know it's a gym, but like y'all don't want to like get together and like play together. You know what I mean? Like, you know, figure out what each other's doing on y'all's laptops and play as a group and find a game where y'all can all like, you know, get each other's gamers tags and play a game together, or go, you know, play as kids. And they don't do it. They all separately got their own electronic device in their hand. You know, my son, he's a little social butterfly, so he's always trying to play with other kids and trying to do things. And a lot of these kids are not super active. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I do agree with her on. But let's continue.
And the fact that parents don't have time to help their kids learn how to read, or don't have time to take their kids to the park anymore. We can blame it on all of those things, or we can blame it on none of those things. But it sounds like we're starting to get into a consensus here amongst educators that we have a real problem. And some of y'all need to stop making excuses. You're just blaming the kids. You're just so mean. No, we are not. The problem is that we have this generation of parents that doesn't want to take accountability for not doing what they need to do to raise kids that are self-sufficient, that are socialized, or kind. And no, it's not the kids' fault. And why does it seem like teachers are the only ones that are talking about it? The people that are talking about it are the ones that work with the kids and not the ones that are raising the kids. Gen Alpha have been raised to believe that they are grown folks, that they can speak to whoever they want, however they want, that violence is the answer. Gen Alpha students are raised in a world that tells them that it's okay to be as nihilistic and individualistic as possible, that they don't have to care about anything or anyone, that they can speak to anybody however they want to speak to them, even though they're only 10, 11, or 12 years old. Most importantly, they are being conditioned to believe that they are immune to consequences, that there are no...
Oh no. See, now that's one thing. If you gotta, if you're a parent that tries to put your kid in timeout, like, no. Sometimes, not sometimes, but more than sometimes, you gotta just, you know what I mean? You gotta lay the smack it down it on these kids, because they can't walk around thinking that there's no such thing as consequences. Consequences come with your actions, and I remind my son that all the time. It's like, look, you can do this and that, but the outcome of this and that will probably be this. And he has to think about it like, I don't want that to happen. Well, if that's going to happen, if this happens, so if you do this, then this is what's going to happen on the other end. So figure out what you want to do. And if you do this, then that's going to happen. So, you know, you need to figure out which consequences you want to deal with, because it's going to happen after you make that decision. So I always tell them, I'm always like, hey, when you're in school and you see kids being clowns or being rude or thinking it's funny to be disrespectful, man, keep this in your mind. Don't follow them. Don't follow the clowns that's always trying to be funny, and don't be that clown in school. You know what I mean? Don't follow. Always lead with whatever it is that you're doing, because a lot of the if what she's talking about is true, it's like you don't want that rubbing off on your kid. And you know, the schooling system, the education system has gone downhill, and we have more immigrant children in here more than ever, especially after, you know, the Biden regime. So we got a lot of immigrant kids in here. So we're seeing like this different culture of children come in, and those kids are being, you know, mixed in with a lot of American kids. So we're seeing that melting pot of different cultures, how they raise their kids. And you start to notice that a lot of parents, they don't, when it comes to their kids, they don't like to do this. You know, they're afraid to do that. And in today's world, sometimes, you know, when there's a custody dispute going on in between, all it takes is the slightest thing to be said, and you're back in court on some BS, because the woman's going to throw you in court for whatever reason. Like, oh, so it's a lot to, you know, unpack and to deal with. And also, depending on what state you're in, if you're in California, you better not do this. You better not do that, because in California, it's a wrap. The kid got more power than you do as a parent. So I can see where she's coming from, and I'm really curious as to what city and state she's in. But let me let her finish up and continue cooking real quick. So here we go.
Consequences to their poor behavior, to their rudeness, to their lack of care in completing tasks and doing well in school. They just don't care. Is this us demonizing kids for fun? No, it's not. The people that are talking about this are genuinely concerned. We are frightened for these kids. And if you're sitting back saying, oh my God, poor babies, like, I wish you would just quit talking about them because you're just being mean and it's not even helpful because kids are just kids, you are doing them absolutely a disservice to their future. This is not just an old people complaining about young people problem anymore. Young people in Generation Z, young teachers who are seeing the same thing I'm seeing with my two eyeballs, are talking about the same thing. You can call it an old folks complaining about young folks thing. Why are you demonizing millennial parents? Why are you demonizing Gen Alpha kids? Or you can step back and look at it from our perspective and say, gee, I wonder why there's so many people talking about the same thing. I wonder why there's so many teachers that are concerned about the same thing. We cannot even begin to talk about solutions until we admit there's a problem.
Well, if we have a lot of single mothers being raising kids out here, that means you're going to have mothers be accountable for that. And a lot of times, you know, I'm not trying to sound facetious or anything, but, you know, women and accountability don't go together. So if there's, you know, a lot of single women to raise kids, then you got to have the woman to be accountable. And that right there within itself is going to be a problem, because you're trying to have one person be accountable for someone else's actions. And you kind of get where I'm going with this. So yeah, that's going to be a cluster F within itself. So good luck on that one. I don't see how that one's going to change anything, but shout out to her for basically putting that out there and letting people know what's going on. That was from 2 years ago. Yeah, that was from, I will say, a year and a half. That was a year and a half ago, at the end of 2023. So a year and a half ago, she was sounding that alarm. So yeah, Gen Alpha, man. I'm always on top of my kid, always, you know, seeing how, you know, hey, how are things? Do any kids get out of hand? Ask his teachers. How does he act? How is he compared to other kids? I got to know, because I don't want him following anybody. Like, don't follow. Like, don't be the class clown. Focus on your schoolwork and just focus on what you need to focus on. And because you don't know how other people, like, where different kids come from, you don't know how other kids are, or what they're seeing at home. and then they're coming out and like doing stuff, and the kids might think it's cool, but it's like, no, that stuff ain't cool. Like what they're seeing at home and bringing out at school, don't do that. So I'm always on them because I have to pay attention, because you really got to watch what these kids are doing and seeing, because now they got cell phones and tablets and all this stuff, and at a young age, these kids could be easily, you know, watching porn at a super young age, and you won't even know it. You know what I mean? So you got to be very, very careful. You don't know what these kids are hearing, what they're seeing, because now you have OnlyFans, that is a thing. So you have a generation of kids that are being raised with parents who do OnlyFans, and these kids probably see and hear God knows what. We didn't have that all the time. So now that we have that, it's a higher, you know, degree of things happening. And for you don't know if those kids are seeing any kind of outrageous stuff at their home. You know what I mean? You don't know what these, especially with the single parent, the divorce rate through the roof. Are these little kids seeing debauchery at the crib? Are they hearing debauchery at night? You know, mama think the kid's sleep, and all the kids hearing trying to go to bed is... That's all the kid is sitting there hearing, you know what I mean? He's trying to figure out what's going on, but he can just hear and feel the energy. And on the background, all he hearing is mama do this. Non-stop. Non-stop. Clapping. That's all he's hearing. So you always have to be on top of your child, because you don't know what these other kids are going through and what they're seeing and what they're hearing. So it's crazy. So now we have another teacher. This lady looks a little bit older than the previous lady. The other lady this lady almost looks like a Gen Xer, but she might just be a millennial, because, you know, she's a white lady, and no offense, but the aging is different. But her teeth tell her that. The neck and the teeth gives me the feeling she's a Gen Xer, but I'm not going to judge her too hard, but I already did. But let's see what she has to say about Gen Alpha. So here we go. She's teaching Gen Alpha. So let's see how this goes. And this was a year ago as well.
Just about teaching Gen Alpha. Oh my goodness. My name's Cassandra. I used to be a teacher, left in 2020. I'm back in now. The biggest difference, teaching Gen Alpha, they do not care about authority. It's wild. And I've got quite a lot of respect for that, actually. They are so aware of their power and what they want and what they don't want, and they are not afraid to share it. I can see how that can be.
How you gonna have a teacher that is envious of kids who are fearless and have power? You're the teacher. You're not supposed to be okay with these kids having power over you. This is ridiculous.
But your problem, they don't buy into the argument that this is good for you, so learn it.
She sounds like a feminist already, but, you know, she sounds like a modern feminist. You know, that's not going to be healthy on the kid.
It is at odds, though, with a culture of a school, which is you comply, there's a hierarchy, there is a behaviour policy. Gen Alpha don't care about that. And this actually causes, I mean, maybe this feeds some of the reason why there are so many teachers leaving, because it feeds into a kind of cultural change, a generational clash between what we had as an older generation of learners. We were told to shut up and get on with it. We have all kinds of suppressed trauma from the systems that raised us.
Here we go with the trauma again. Like, 1 minute she's saying, I can see how this could be a problem with these kids thinking this way. To the next minute, it's like, we grew up with trauma. And all this is like, shut up with your trauma. Go to a gym, go work out. Everybody's situation was different. I get it. There's real trauma, but then again, it's these self-diagnosed, you yelled at me trauma people, which is ridiculous. I don't like, that's just, and now you're, whatever. I'm not going to keep going.
Gen Alpha, they're aware, I think, a lot more of what is causing them harm, and they're not playing, which I think is quite good, really. I think it's a lot healthier. I think it does mean that we, as the adult, need to change our approach. It's really interesting. This is where I think the conversation needs to happen. I do think it challenges the systems that we have created to contain them. How do we adapt? If you are genuinely listening to the needs of the people in front of you in the classroom, how do we adapt? I'd be interested to know what ideas you have for making our classrooms a safe place, and young people as well. Like, what do you need to thrive at school? This is what I see with Gen Alpha. They are basically kicking off because the system that we have built for them is not serving them, and they are letting us know. And the adults are annoyed about this because they're interpreting this as like a lack of resilience or a sense of apathy or a low sense of self-esteem, and maybe all of that is true, but you have to deal with what's in front of you, right? So if the young people are saying, this is not working for me, screw you. And that...
This woman is a nutcase. This woman is completely crazy. Like, straight up. Like, this is what she needs. She needs this. It's not that... What she's saying is not that the system is not serving the kids. Yes, it's a system. Yes, we're going through a radical change when it comes to education system, because now you have AI into the picture. Plus, you have a lot of propaganda that gets put on via the media, and the gender war that's happening between the two genders. So it's like you're fighting over which gender is going to raise the kid, and it turns into a single parent situation raising the kid. So the kid doesn't have a family structure to fall back on. Hell, a kid might not even know who their grandparents is. They might only know who their immediate mom or dad is. And then in that case, if they do have grandparents, usually it's going to be just the grandma, if they have one. And if the grandma was a feminist and they taught their daughter to be a feminist, now you got this child raising up under the ideology of that same thing as well. So it shouldn't be these kids are telling us what to do. It's the fact that we remove so much discipline from these kids. That's the problem. These kids are not, we're not able to discipline the kids the way we need to. You know, you yell at a kid and tell them to shut up. It's like, oh, and then you go and you tell the parent. I actually had a teacher tell me this before. A teacher told me this. She said, one of the biggest problems I have dealing with these kids, and, you know, like, kids like around my son age, so Gen Alpha, she said the biggest problem that she has dealing with the kids is not necessarily the kid itself, it's the parent. When I tell the parent what the kid did, the parent will automatically side with their kid, like their kid can do no wrong, like their kid is a little angel. And she's like, I see this little spawn of Satan run around coming to school acting crazy, but then I can't blame the kid because the kid seems like he or she can't do no wrong, because mom comes in, or whatever, whoever it is, comes in. Well, in this case, she said mom. The parent will come in and side with the kid and look at me like I'm the bad guy. So she's like, it just undermines me, and the kid looks at me like, you don't got to listen to nothing I say. So she said, it's the parent that's giving her more hell than the kid, because she understands why the kid thinks that way. I was like, well, that actually makes a lot of sense. I was like, okay. She's like, yeah. So it's really, I can't get mad at the kid, because when I deal with the parent, then I understand the psyche of the kid. And it's like, wow, this kid don't stand a chance. And it's like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So really, we're at a situation where the only way to save these kids is, one, discipline. Two, you better like make a hell of a lot of freaking money and figure out the best way to get your kid around other like-minded kids who are financially set and financially well off. Not saying that's the better play, but you put them in a better situation. So money and discipline will be the two factors that'll help you get out of that situation, be put into a better situation. And then to solve it across the board will be, you know, two-parent household and homeschool your children. That'll be the only way to save all of this of what she's talking about, because this is the school system doing what the school system is going to do, is to dumb the future generation of the children down, to have a dumber generation. So now, as we've seen when I gave a stream yesterday talking about how Gen Z uses ChatGPT to talk about their whole life problems and decisions that they have to make, these kids are going to be more reliant on AI as opposed to being reliant on critical thinking and solving problems on their own. So the system is doing what it's supposed to do. It's actually doing its course. It's running its course accurately and very professionally well, unfortunately. But that's what it is. But let's move on to the next one. We got this person talking about Gen Alpha be like, which is kind of funny. I actually kind of attest to this one because my son actually kind of does this sometimes too. Not with the profanity, but just the way he moves. So check this out.
Can I walk to Chad's house? Sure, but that's a rough neighborhood, so you remember, if anyone offers you drugs, you say, I am down, how much for crack? No, you are not down. I am not down with any of your crack. If a stranger asks you to get in his van, you say, on my way. Nope, not right. Stranger danger. Yeah, that's what I meant. What if a stranger pulls up on you with his car, he's like, hey, I can't find my dog, can you get in, help me search for my dog? This one's easy. Okay. You help him find that fucking dog. Nope. Right, fuck that dog. What if someone offers you candy? I'll take my shirt off for a snack. Snickers. Okay, I'm thinking maybe I should just drive you. So don't take my shirt off for a Snickers bar? Dad. Yeah. Can I?
Yes, they need to learn stranger freaking danger. It's actually pretty funny. Man, I think it's funny because of the whole dog thing. When isn't a stranger wants you to help him find that dog? One time a strange dog, not strange dog, like a stray dog. I say a stray dog, or a lost dog, or whatever. My son loves dog. My son is very. I get these two words mixed up. Sympathetic, or is it empathetic? Whatever it is, but you get what I'm saying. He's just like very like, oh, like, like, oh, like, but the dog doesn't have a place to live. He's lost. We need to help him find his owner, and he'll go and try to like knock on people's door. Well, anyway, found a dog one time, and luckily the neighbor was out taking their dog out to go potty, and she had actually seen my son holding the dog, and she was like, what are you doing? Like, because she knows my son, and she knows my son has his own dog. But he's like, oh, I found his dog. We're going to go help him find his owner by just going and knocking on random people's doors to go find the owner. She's like, oh, I don't think that's a good idea. She's like, I'm going to go tell my dad. She's like, leave the dog here. You can go tell your dad. I'll be right here with the dog. So then I came out and I was like, what dog you talking about? And then she explained to me, and I was like, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that, because yes, he's going to try to take the dog and be superhero, but it's like some of the things that we learn, like dare, never talk to strangers, stranger danger, like what he said, those things, it seems like Gen Alpha's missing some of those things. And as a parent, you got to be the one to stay on top of that, because they can be easily forgotten. They can, and you have to try to catch it beforehand, because we had those things as a curriculum, as a part of school thing, and I don't know if they're really pushing that too hard in school as much as we had it. We had the dare dog and the drug dog and the don't talk to strangers and the commercials and all these things. I ain't seen an ad or a commercial that had anything to do about a stranger and a kid. I have not seen one before. I can remember seeing those growing up as kids, but nowadays, do you see an ad that's trying to tell you anything? Get this thing off. Do you see an ad or anything that tries to tell you, a child, to like, hey, don't talk to strangers, kid. Oh, when you see a stranger danger. Or like, hey, little kid, want some candy? And growing up, you knew like, oh, that's bad, because we saw that in commercial. We saw that in videos. They're not putting that out no more. So, and nowadays we got all these, all these little kids are getting, touched up on by teachers and strangers and stuff like that. Their main thing is focusing on only that, only that style of abuse, sort of say. So like the stranger thing and the candy thing and the help, it's like those things can lead to that, but they don't talk about that as well. They just focus on the, the touching of the kid part, but they leave out how you could still wind up in a situation from different tactics type thing. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's that in a nutshell. But I like this one. This one was really good. This one made me laugh, especially the way he was moving. Look at this.
Can I walk to Chad's house? Sure, but that's a rough neighborhood, so you remember, if anyone offers you drugs, you say, I am down, how much for crack? No, you are not down. I am not down with any of your crack. If a stranger asks you to get in his van, you say, on my way. Nope, not right. Stranger danger. Yeah, that's what I meant. What if a stranger pulls up on you with his car, he's like, hey, I can't find my dog, can you get in, help me search for my dog? This one's easy. Okay. You help him find that fucking dog. Nope. Right. Fuck that dog. What if someone offers you candy? I'll take my shirt off for a Snickers. Okay, I'm thinking maybe I should just...
That's funny. The body movements. That's funny. So shout out to this person for this video. I like that one. That was actually pretty funny. Oops, had my thing muted. All right, so I got one more I'll be able to do. I'm not going to be able to get to the AI portion of the show. I might just do the AI portion of the show tonight in the evening. Break it up in two. I'll be able to just sit back and kind of coast and do the AI portion tonight in the evening. But I'll be able to do one more right now. Then I got to go. I got stuff I got to take care of. But this next one that we have is basically just going to show millennial mother and a Gen Alpha daughter, and she's going to basically ask her Gen Alpha daughter 90s questions, and we're going to see how this pans out and see how this goes, which is going to be interesting. And it just shows you how much times have changed, like the things that we thought of our boomer parents, because you may have boomer parents or like Gen X. I got Gen X brothers and boomer parents, so the things that they thought of as boomer parents, like what a reel to reel is. I still know what these things are, like a reel to reel, hell, I can't even go into detail with too many things, but different things that they knew. I mean, I knew some of it, but not much. But to see how much technology has changed from a millennial to a Gen Alpha, their world is vastly different from ours. They don't know a bunch of stuff. And this video right here I'm about to show you is going to show us how big of how much times have changed, drastically, how fast things are moving, and how big of a disconnect things are between the two generations. And not in necessarily a negative or a bad way, but like if you're a millennial, you might not understand it with a Gen Alpha. Because my son still says stuff to me. He'll be like, hey, yo, Dad, how was life like in the 19s? I'm like, the 19s? He's like, yeah. Like, what did you do in the 19s? Like, did you have a phone? I'm like, yeah, we had a phone. We had phones. I mean, we didn't always have a cell phone. We had a landline phone. That was a landline. I'm like, yeah, like the phone, you could only use the phone at home. Then once you left the house, there was no phone. You had to like figure out life outside without a phone. He's like, oh. Like, wow. I was like, yeah, I mean, that's what it was. We didn't have the internet. No internet. Like, no, I didn't have the internet growing up. He was like, whoa, you must have been so bored. I'm like, well, you know, I still have a little Super Nintendo with games on it, so I kind of let him. I'll let him play it to see the games I used to play growing up. So like these are games I played growing up, and you know you'll see me playing them sometimes, and you wonder why I'm always like in the game so hard is because I'm like reliving my childhood when I played the Super Nintendo. So these were games I played, and if I wanted to borrow a game, this was the thing. You see how you get on the internet and you have like your friend's gamer tag and you game with a friend at their house or wherever they're at. It wasn't like that. You see, this Super Nintendo has 2 controllers. Me and another friend would come over, or if a friend had a Super Nintendo, I would go to their house and we would play 2-player on a 2-player game at their location. Nowadays, your friend don't come over to your house anymore and play the same game together, nor do you actually have the physical copy of the games anymore. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but they're going away with physical copies and doing downloads of everything. And when you bought the game, you didn't have to buy anything in the game. You just beat the game to get and unlock new clothes, a new weapon, a new level. That's what we played. Nowadays, you got to buy the level, buy the clothes, buy the weapon, buy everything. So you can end up spending like $500 on one game easily. Like Fortnite's a free game, but people probably spent like $1,000 on a free game because you're buying all these skins and upgrades. It's ridiculous. But anyway, here's the last, this will be the last one for today, and I'll try to come back tonight to do the AI portion of the show late on this evening. But let's go ahead and check out this video. So we got the asking my Gen Alpha daughter 90s question. So let's check this out and see how this goes. Here we go.
I'm going to ask my Gen Alpha child these questions from the 90s, 80s, 90s, see if she knows what they mean. And you, if you pass, if you make a passing grade, I'm going to give you $100.
Wait, actually?
Yeah, $100. You ready?
No, wait, can I get a jelly cat instead?
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
She already knows she ain't gonna pass. That's why she like, yo, whatever, you finna lose.
But you have to pass. Do you know what a passing grade is?
Look, I've never got a passing grade.
I'm just checking. 70 or above. Okay. All right. What are the yellow pages?
I'm sorry, what?
The yellow pages.
Can you get... Sit! It's, and
Blueberry Kid.
And, The Wizard of Oz, The Golden Path, is it a book with the yellow, like the yellow path?
Nope. What was a Sega? Sega. What was a Sega?
Like a drink? Or a witchcraft is what it sounds like.
What is a collect call?
Oh, a call you take in the living room, like.
Okay, what? What is a Walkman?
Huh?
A Walkman.
Oh, it's that little CD thing, right? Right?
CD thing?
They're like little, they're rectangles, right?
Yeah.
And you listen to music on them?
You do, but that's
Okay, I'm gonna give her that one as well. She was referring to, so a Walkman would be with a tape player, would be a tape cassette. You put a tape in there. I think she was probably trying to revert to a Discman, where you put the CD in there, because when they were changing from tapes to CDs, I think she was referring to, maybe she was still referring to the same thing, but yeah, maybe she was talking about a Discman, but same thing.
But that they're not a CD. I don't play CD.
Okay, well, scratch that. They're a little rectangle and you listen to music. You can play music
Like
on
this?
them. Like, you know what I mean? Like connect headphones, yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Okay, what is a rotary phone?
It's those phones if you get lost on the side of the road. Wait. No, right? And they're those little stands.
What is a burnt CD?
Literally a burnt CD.
Yeah, what is a burnt CD?
A burnt CD.
What is dial-up?
Dial-up? Oh, it's like basically when girls get all dialed up. So like somebody.
What was MySpace?
What?
MySpace.
Your space?
Yeah, what was MySpace?
In your room?
No.
Oh, a show.
No.
A movie.
What was AOL?
As of L.
Or a chat room.
Oh, like
AOL. Okay, what is it? You didn't know what AOL chat room.
Chat room. It's chat room.
What does that mean?
Like we have fun. I keep on seeing these in like my school. Like before you walk in the classrooms, they have like a capital O and a capital L like in the auditorium. No, because it says A.
What's a beeper? What's a beeper?
A greeper?
A beeper.
Honk honk.
What is a CB radio?
Okay, I give up. This is hard.
This is awesome, what it is.
So good, my jelly cat.
CB radio.
Country, huh?
CB radio.
Does it stand for California Bay? Like radio, like California song, like California Girls.
What is an 8-track tape?
I'm sorry, a what?
8-track tape.
8-track.
8-track
tape.
Yes, 8-track.
Like an 8-ball kind of?
8-track tape. Okay. Do you know what a vinyl is? What vinyl means?
Oh my gosh, you were talking about this the other day. Are you freaking serious? A vinyl?
Mm-hmm. I have a collection.
A vinyl. Can you give me a hint?
It plays music.
Oh, record players.
Vinyl records.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you that one too. Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, they're little toys. Like the little wrestler toys?
Yes, good job.
No, because Tristan has one of those.
So that's 3. Okay. What, let's see. What was a skip it?
It's it's a toy.
Okay, what do you do with it?
You, like, how do I, Grandmommy has one.
A skip it?
Yes.
How does it work?
Is it like...
A jump rope?
Yeah.
No, that's not a skip it. Okay. What is a VCR?
You mean a VR?
No.
I don't have a VR.
VCR. What is a floppy disk?
Oh, it's basically when like your disc, like somebody touched it and scratched it.
What is a cassette tape?
Oh, what?
Cassette tape.
Blueberry. Stop.
A cassette tape.
Like
A cassette tape.
duct tape. Cassette tape. Oh, is it? Oh, I saw an ad. Is it like the tapes that you like can even hold water on TikTok? Like that you could. I see like the 2007 ad. Like you put it in water and it's.
She said, I seen that in a 2007 ad. Not even in 2007 were tapes still around. Like, Jesus. Now, this should just give you an idea or understanding. But shout out to them. That was a fun little game. I was going to let the whole thing play. It got a minute left. But yeah, that's just to give you an idea, just to show the difference. If you don't have any kids, which is a big deal, if you, well, not really a big deal, but I mean, the economy makes the difference. But having a kid will show you the difference between how old you are or what your knowledge is compared to what your child knowledge is, and you understand the difference between the two generations. It's worth having and worth knowing, because then you can learn from each other. You can learn from your kid can learn from you, and it's a big deal. And like living in a society where people don't want to have kids because kids are deemed to be used as a wedge or a means of money, or to drive a wedge between two parents, which is sad. But in living in a generation where people don't have kids and they can't experience this, or they're going to experience this through, you know, social media, like how we just saw with this video, it takes away a lot from you as an individual, as a human being. But to give you an understanding of the difference of how fast times have changed between the two generations. Like, she don't know what a floppy disk is. The closest thing she knew was the tape cassette. Well, tape cassette. She didn't know what a tape cassette was, but she kind of understood what a Walkman was because she knew it played music. So she understood the music aspect of it, but everything else, Yellow Pages, AOL, all the other stuff she named, she didn't get. VCR, all that stuff. It just shows you how much times have changed and how much of a difference is that's between the two generations. And it lets you know where you stand as a human being, as a person moving forward in life. So, you know, each one teach one, but you can learn from your kids, and your kids can learn from you, and you can put them in a better position in the future, because you, as a millennial, you still stand in the middle between the future and the past. You know what I mean? Like, being as a millennial, you still stand in like that middle frame of understanding how the future is about to turn out, and being knowledgeable enough to be able to, you know, still operate in the future as far as AI and technology goes. Still have the knowledge of the past to know what reel-to-reels, tape cassettes are, what all these things she was naming, Yellow Pages, I forget, they would say the rotor phone, or whatever she called the phone, all these different things. So you still have a vast knowledge that you can still be able to provide and be able to connect dots. So keep that in mind. That's going to be it for today's show. I got to get up out of here. I got to go be a parent. You know what I mean? So we got to get up out of here, get this stuff done. With that being said, I'm going to try to log on later on today and finish up the second half of the show, which is the AI portion of the show, which we're going to talk about the social credit score. So I'm gonna try to get on. It might be a late evening show, maybe around like 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So right now I'm at 3:30, so 9 p.m. within the next 6 hours, I'm gonna try to hop back on and do the second half of the show for the AI portion. I'll be able to chill, be more chill, more laid back. I'll be focused on just one topic, one subject matter, which is the AI portion. So if y'all be able to tune in later, that would be great. I gotta get up out of here, man. I'll catch y'all later. See y'all next time. I'm gonna end this out with our nice little sexy Latina. Peace.
Follow D. Elliott Fitness for the kind of workouts you'll never forget.
game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. My fame won't stop, ain't the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. I'm white no nigga in Austin, Texas, in the booth, slaying beats. I'd rather be in the studio than in jail or on the street. Talking the wrong, coming off your teeth. Got that one hit to quit and knock you off your feet. It's big on, baby, I'm out some meat. Pockets chunky like cottage cheese. Real nigga, I just gotta be. Smoking weed that don't gotta see. Used to be a hustler prodigy. I love when people say they proud of me. I'm eating good, smoking broccoli, taking over blocks like Monopoly. Only fuck the ones that's my policy. Most of these hoes trying to cause a scene. Like niggas mad they not on the team. See, I got bread, then bought a dream. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay. I'm white no nigga in Austin, Texas, in the booth, playing beats. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay. I'm white no nigga in Austin, Texas, in the booth, playing beats. Counting cash and smoking green, can be blow a cloud like a smoke machine. The bitch on my dick, she got no to sing. Bum to be ass, yeah, I know it's thing. I plug your bitch like a 6-string. Jordan with the bitches got 6 rings. Smoke till my bitch a split screen. The press with pain pills and sipping lean. Riding dirty, but I'm extra clean. Lyrics nice, but I'm extra mean. All-star heavyweight like Wolverine. The bitch learns so she open me. I flip money like Clover G. Gang hustle like T.I.P. Star baby like D.I.G. Acronym like K.R.I.T. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. I'm white no nigga in Austin, Texas, in the booth, playing beats. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. My fame won't stop, but the only thing I'm chasing. The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. I'm white no nigga in Austin, Texas, in the booth, playing beats. In the beats like RP, no hard shit where your artery. Cutting up, who's sharp as me? Rolling up accordingly. Pulling hoes, no sorcery. Rapping like y'all forcing me. If I ain't right, then it's forgery. Nigga selling to the rock like a Florida beat. Lyrical monster on the Lord of Beats. Text nigga, my bitch Georgia Peach. Pimp tight nigga, I do more than cheat. Cold like D-Wade, I ignore the heat. Bitch, I'm away, hit the short for reach. Money jumping like the nigga on the sneeze. Cause the bad J's get me on the beat. Bitch, I'm always winning like what's the beat? The game on lock, and I got the keys like Jay-Z. My